I was telling somebody, I feel like coming dressed like Pushpa because it's so warm here. Anyway, so one more hospital. You walk down ECI, there are at least 40 hospitals. You know, you knock your head against a hospital or a confectionery as you walk in. So, what makes us different? In the next 20-30 minutes, I'm going to get into you guys and allow you to know who we are and what we are. So, you know, doctors and hospitals are getting a dime a dozen. There's this joke about a chap finishes his MBBS working somewhere for 15,000 rupees as a duty doctor. And then in that same city, there is a big zoo and there's a very popular chimpanzee. All the animals come to the zoo to play with that chimpanzee. It's called Jimmy the chimp. One day, the chimpanzee dies and desperately the zoo people, they advertise in these, the Telangana Times, and then the J.S.Rajkumar Times in a smaller term saying, will somebody like to come and dress up and act like a chimpanzee? So then if he can shout and escape, but he will lose his job, he has to come back to working in a hospital as a duty doctor. Or he can keep quiet and the lion will eat him up. So he's thinking, shall I shout or shall I keep quiet? Shall I shout or shall I keep quiet? And by the time, unfortunately for him, it's too late. The lion comes too close to him, opens the mouth and says, he's shouting, I'm MBBS, somebody save me. Lion opens the mouth and says, hey idiot, you're only MBBS, I finished my MS, I'm acting like a lion, keep quiet. We both will lose our jobs. So these days, when doctors are almost a dozen, what does Lifeline have to offer you? In what way are we different? Forget about these things. Okay, so this is what I believe we are. Every institution has a DNA. It is our basic genes. Marabu Anu, they say in Tamil, what we are. And we believe that we are patriotic. We believe that we are responsive. We are aware of disasters. We are tech innovators. We have some areas of excellence. We believe in social justice. And we would like to bring those areas of excellence to you guys. So yes, I was telling you, we are very, very proudly patriotic. One of the large institutions that Kala and I ran, actually we had to shut it down and hand it over to Apollo simply because it was always full, but full of ECHS, and we looked after all these patients, and for 5 years we didn't get paid by the ECHS, and we actually had to shut down the hospital. And they said the records are gone, the records are here. It was all paper records. I'm talking about 15, 20 years ago. And they said, we can't find the records, so-and-so's changed, ye wala, wo wala, and we had to actually shut it down. So I can boldly tell people that we are so proudly patriotic that we let a business run itself down. We believe in actually going around to celebrate Independence and Republic Day. We have a very huge group of ESMs, ex-servicemen, who work alongside of me in the BJP as well. And of course, throughout we are working with Kargil, both for tribute to Kargil, and of late, we were the first in Tamil Nadu, which in some ways believes it's a separate country, more aligned to Pakistan. Even in Tamil Nadu, we were the first to do a tribute for the people in Pahalgam. I wanted to do just a candlelight service, public procession. It was denied and refused. So we're always responsive. I don't want you to come to me just because I have an X-ray machine. No, everybody's got an X-ray machine or a spinal surgeon. Every place has got a spinal surgeon. But there is a DNA that says, this is he, this is she, and this is the institution. You come to us because this is us. Every time there has been a major disaster, we have always responded, be it tsunami, be it the Bhuj earthquake, be it Chennai floods. You will find every time one bus full of our doctors and nurses, and we've not just sent them off. My wife and I, we've always led from the front. And we went there and we were busy pulling dead bodies out at the time of the tsunami in Nagapattinam. Indeed, We even applied, and now for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we may be going to Kiev to work at the site of the Russian-Ukrainian war front as well. Now, this is a reason why you should trust us, because we are tech innovators. You see, about 30, 40 years ago, everybody was having open surgery. There used to be a statement saying, the bigger the surgeon, the bigger the incision. So they would cut you from top to bottom, put the surgeon's hands inside, surgeon's assistant's hands inside, and sometimes wonder, hey, where's my watch? Did I leave it inside the patient? That kind of thing. And then it changed. Our incisions started getting smaller and smaller. And I was one of those who pioneered laparoscopic or keyhole surgery, where we now remove stomach cancers, colon cancers, uterus, ovaries, hernias, everything through tiny holes. So it's a big surgery, but done through tiny holes. In the big cut surgeries, after we operated, the surgeon would go home or come to the club, and the patient would go to the ICU. But these keyhole surgeries are so complicated for us, good for patients. After 6 hours or 8 hours, patient will go back to the ward ready to have a drink, and the surgeon will go to the ICU because he'll be so tired. But the net result is that patients are benefited. When it comes to surgery, the Americans always say, every surgery is a big accident. You choose. Do you want to have an accident with a lorry, or do you want to have an accident with a cycle? Having an accident with a cycle is minimally invasive surgery or laparoscopic surgery. Having an accident with a lorry or a truck, that's the big zip incision. We also pioneered something called scarless laparoscopic surgery. Many of you, I can see a lot of very young ladies here. You might want to wear your tank tops or your bikinis by the time the swimming pool is ready here. You don't want to have 4 or 5 holes, because laparoscopic surgery is done through 4 or 5 holes. So they will think that you went along with General Mohandas into the war and had a bunch of machine gun holes, because there'll be 3 or 4 small holes. So nowadays we do it completely scarlessly. We use the belly button, which is God's own scar, just as Kerala is God's own country. So we use the same belly button to put all our instruments through that and remove someone's uterus or appendix or gallbladder or liver or spleen or what have you. I'm not here to give you fine technical details and bore you. It's already a hot summer day when it's very easy to lull you to sleep, so I'm not taking any chances. But just giving you a bird's eye view, what it's all about. And all these are available barely half a kilometer from you at our Lifeline Tulasi Hospital. The project would not have been possible without Mr. Muthukrishnan and Dr. Vishwanath Reddy here, who very, very kindly organized the whole fusion, and Tulasi became Lifeline Tulasi Hospital. So the other thing is that I was one of the first I was the first in the country to do the Google Glass surgery, where we actually wear a Google Glass, and you can, by raising your head up and down, you can go into the internet, and it's a fantastic teaching aid. We'll soon be bringing all these here. What's the fourth one? Metabolic and bariatric surgery. You all know what bariatric surgery is. It's a surgery designed to make people lose weight. Oh no, don't immediately think, oh my gosh, that's the surgery in which somebody died. Only the really big, huge guys who are like 300, 400 kilograms, they are the ones who are in risk of, say, dying after bariatric surgery. But the average person who loses 25, 30 kilograms, the risk is almost zero. It's like comparing a Formula 1 racing car with your car, with the Hyundai Verna, with which you travel from home to shopping. That's the risk difference. Look at that metabolic surgery. Many of you will know that diabetes is a real curse upon India. Every 20 seconds across the world, one patient loses his leg. We saw off somebody's leg every 20 seconds because of diabetes. Every 30 seconds, somebody goes blind because of diabetes. Every 45 seconds, one person goes on to a dialysis because of diabetes. And every 60 seconds across the world, and all this is WHO data from 2023 itself, it's even worse in 2025, every 60 seconds there is one death. Anything that any of you can do to control your diabetes or indeed to, get rid of it is fabulous for you. And in our metabolic surgeries, if your body can tolerate a laparoscopic surgery, if your heart is reasonable, if your sugar is not 20 years old, we can easily, in a single day, get rid of your sugar, plus BP, plus cholesterol, plus triglyceride, plus knee issue, all. Single day. It's like transplanting and putting somebody else's body there. It completely changes you. It's called metabolic surgery. Many of us will require the critical care unit at some point of time. Reminds me of a Chinese gentleman who came to visit our Prime Minister. He'd come to Chennai, and what happened was he felt very sick, and they admitted him in the ICU. So, in the ICU, he had tubes going inside, machines, oxygen, everything. One of the society ladies came to him with a big bunch of flowers, gave it to him and said, Mr. Jingding, we are very, very happy that you're here. I hope you get well. So this man looked at her and said, Xing Pepong, and he died. Just dropped down dead. So this lady, great scholar, erudite man, she wanted to find out what are the last words of this great scholar. So she contacted a lot of Chinese scholars, and finally she got the answer as to what this great man said when she met him in the ICU. That she asked one Chinese scholar, and he said, Xing Pepong, that means, madam, you're standing on my oxygen tube. So, every one of us, not just Mr. Jing Diping, but every one of us at some point of time will need the intensive care unit. And apart from the ICU being a source of quite a lot of embarrassment, my ICU patients always ask me, give them the gowns, and they're walking and poor things, can see the whole back. And I tell you, listen, I see you gown, I see you, you can see the whole back with the gown, that's why it's like that. But apart from that, it's very important, leaving out the jokes, that everybody who's above 50, 60 requires a very good advanced critical care unit. And we are in the process of developing one of the largest advanced critical care units in Hyderabad in this place. So in East Hyderabad, ours is the only 300-bedded unit and largest hospital. And in that, we are focusing a lot on advanced critical care unit, which means sometimes somebody has a surgery and the surgery goes wrong. I won't say it's botched. Well done surgery, maybe a hip surgery, but the institution doesn't have an ICU. You need the right amount of oxygen to be given, the heart to be supported, the kidney to be supported. ICU is nothing but giving support to all the organs until the patient becomes all right by himself. And we are planning that in a very, very big way. We already have a large dialysis unit, so we're having kidney support. We have a cath lab, heart and lung support, ventilators. We're adding an advanced pure liver care support. So almost everything will be helped. Let me talk about another. These are all just the tech innovations that we're doing. There's an anti-aging treatment. I look around, and in this room, I don't think there's anybody who requires anti-aging treatment to my eyes. But about 15, 20 years ago, my wife and I got into anti-aging. We're actually among the first people with a diploma in anti-aging. And someday, and I'm sure you'll get a full house for that, those of you who want to remain young and smart, let us know. There are a number of little tricks to remain young. There is an American Association of Anti-Aging Medicine. How to avoid wrinkles, how to avoid muscle weakness. It's a number of small tricks. This is not a mumbo jumbo. It's an American association, and there are 40,000 practicing anti-aging doctors. That's why Tom Cruise looks the way he is at 58 or 59. And that's why Arnold Schwarzenegger looks the way he is at 66. There's a number of small things. It's not just the skin for Botox. It's how you keep your muscle, how you keep your hormones, how you keep your sexuality, how you keep your bones, how you keep your hormones. It's a sum total of everything. And we will be glad, we will be starting anti-aging. Mostly, it's a number of blood tests. And you tune and keep your minerals, your hormones, everything exactly as it was when you were 25 or 30. Finally, we are also introducing an app. Within the next few months, we will actually bring all of you this app. With this app, if you just open your phone, it's not yet ready, not yet ready. If you open the phone and stare at it, within 60 seconds, your pulse, BP, oxygen, respiratory level, stress, blood sugar, hemoglobin, cholesterol, liver function tests will all be out in 60 seconds. And it will cost a huge sum. On an average, it will cost you about 75 to 80 paise to do that complete health checkup. And not only that, that will you be advised people to do it 3 or 4 times a day. It will go into the back end of the app. And when you come to see us, if you come to see Dr. Vishwanath for your orthopedic work, or Colonel Rao, who's a very renowned general surgeon, at a hit of a button, it will give us your last 100 BPs, or your last 100 sugars, or your last 100 hemoglobins. No point of the doctor just checking your BP once and treating you at that point of time. Much better if the doctor looks at your last 100 reports. So indeed, we did the world's largest health camp in 2023. We checked 11,500 people's health checkup using that app, and it took us a long time. It took us 2 hours to do it. So this is some of the advanced laparoscopic surgery. I don't want anybody in this group, or in Sainik Puri or Vayupuri for that matter, to be afraid of surgery. There's always a way to make surgery almost painless, to make surgery comfortable. These are some of the complex surgeries that we're doing, like laparoscopically, for example, cancer of the pancreas, cancer of the liver. All these, you usually have a very huge cut. By the time you put the cut and go inside, patient has already lost a couple of units of blood. Here we do it all through holes. Colorectal cancer is, I also want to tell all of you, in the US and in England, everybody above 50 gets a compulsory colonoscopy once in 2 years. I know a colonoscope is not a very pleasant thing to do. It's been described in various ways, and none of them are good. But unfortunately, colorectal cancer is on the rise, because whatever rubbish we eat goes out through our bowels. We are not eating what our ancestors ate 100 years ago. And all the processed stuff, all the chemical stuff from your ketchup and the processed stuff from your burgers and pizzas, they go down the colon, stay in the colon, rub against the wall of the colon and cause cancers. So all these complex surgeries, right up to surgery for heartburn, for example, are all done using keyholes. This is some of our original work where we published, oh my gosh, some of the work that we published in various international journals. This is surgery for cancer colon. I talked to you about, these are various operations where we reroute your stomach and small intestine. Net result, you can kiss your diabetes goodbye. You can kiss your blood pressure goodbye. You can kiss your cholesterol goodbye. You can kiss your heartburn goodbye. They are complex surgeries, but patients go home in 24 to 48 hours. In my mind, one of the ways of remaining absolutely, I'm now 62, and I still do my up to 10 kilometers very comfortably a day, or 100, 200 push-ups, exactly like I used to do when I was 32. And I believe the reason for that is not only anti-aging medicine, it's because I don't have diabetes, I don't have BP, I don't have cholesterol, I don't have triglyceride. When you keep everything off, your cells are soaked only in blood instead of being soaked in sugar, and you will always be much healthier. So as I said, if there is a true cure for diabetes, it is through laparoscopic surgery. And I'll tell you another common thing that I'm finding nowadays, obstructive sleep apnea. Many people ring up and tell me, sir, I thought I was sleeping by the side of a highway. Why? Lot of sound was coming. Why? Then I opened my eyes. Yeah, my husband was snoring there. You know, this kind of severe snoring or obstructive sleep apnea, because they don't get enough oxygen in. When you're in the middle of a speech like this, you'll find the patients with OSA softly sinking and sleeping. Or sometimes the people who are giving the lectures, if they have OSA, they'll also be sleeping in front of the mic. All these things happen with this OSA. So, lasting solutions for weight loss. India is now facing an epidemic of obesity. Gone are the days, garibi hatao. Now, you see in Man Ki Baat, our Pradhan Mantri is saying, motapa hatao. There are too many people who are big. So we need to, and people say, no, no, sir, I'm sorry. Obesity runs in my family. I always say, no, no, no. Obesity is there because nobody runs in the family. That's why obesity is running in the family. So, with such fabulous quarters like these, you should not have any problem. And I always say, in India, in the new India, where we don't even have one child, I'm happy to say, not even one child in India is dying of hunger. I'm a wannabe politician, so I'm constantly looking at growth and development indices, whereas across the world, especially South America and Africa, 97,060 children die every month due to hunger. In India, not even one dies. I'm very happy about that. But whether you're from Arunachal Pradesh or Andhra Pradesh, in India, the central Madhya Pradesh is always very big, and we must try to do something about that. And this is one of the first papers that showed that surgery is more effective than the tablets that your doctors give you. The tablets will only control your diabetes. Surgery will cure your diabetes. There are many ways in which sugar is controlled. I don't want to trouble you, but essentially it makes your anti-sugar mechanism very efficient. It makes your beta cells produce more insulin. It makes your peripheral cells more responsive to insulin. Ladies and gentlemen, your own body can produce insulin. Your own body can process Fruline. Basically, it's a form of anti-diabetic Atma Nirbhar Bharat. It's all made in India, made in your own body. You can make the hormones by changing the gut, and that will completely clear. And let me show you some examples of very, very big men, Motamanus, who became Chotamanus, and who also lost their diabetes, their BP, their cholesterol, and they're all healthy and happy. Please don't think we have sent them to some prisoner of war camp in Auschwitz or Nuremberg or Guantanamo or anywhere. They're all healthy people who change. Young women who are fat, who are obese, who don't have kids. The minute they lose weight, they're just producing babies comfortably. And once diabetes goes, it completely changes a man's lifestyle. So, a gift for many of these obese. There are multiple operations. I won't go into all those details. So far, we've been busy going to the infrastructure details of our hospital. But now, we are focusing on operation details depending on your BMI, which means your height versus your weight ratio. We will choose one of many tailor-made procedures in order to get rid of your problems. I won't tell you anything more, but what you saw for the previous older people would be very different from the operation we would do for this young boy whose father died of diabetes, father's brother died of diabetes, mother was a doctor who contacted me. She said, I don't want my son dying of diabetes, please operate upon him. He was only in the 11th standard. We were able to operate upon him. He now remains 18 years after surgery. He remains non-diabetic. He's had children, very, very comfortable. So also, women who have polycystic ovarian disease, central obesity, hypertension, etc., once they have these procedures, it completely does a metabolic rewiring of these people. And some people will say, Doctor, my daughter is only 22. She's getting married in a year's time. I don't even want a husband, to know that she's had a surgery. And in these, as I told you, we would use that belly button and put all the instruments into the belly button and work our way through it and somehow do the necessary and come out. And unless her husband is a laparoscopic surgeon training in scarless surgery, working with me at Lifeline Hospital, nobody else will find out that we've done. We always get the first invitation for their weddings because these girls become instantly marriageable. Instantly marriageable. So this is what we call single incision. Get older, Fisher and Piles and all these simple anal conditions become very common. So we have not only male, we have female surgeons as well to look after our sisters who have these issues, and we are able to make them all right. This is the Google Glass surgery. It's just a little, you can see, right? I'm right in the middle. Can you see? I'm looking up. So you have to look up through these glasses, and you can, when your students are watching your surgery, you can simultaneously show them 4 other people operating. Through, you actually go onto the computer, you log into the Google, and any discussions, you can bring in the latest data and discuss. So these are all various teaching aids. We're also going to become a proper training, teaching center. So there will be training happening all around. We tend also to use what's called 3D surgery, like your My Dear Kuti Chatan, where you would all been wearing the 3D glasses. We also wear the 3D glasses here. This gives us depth into people's bellies to perform complex cancer operations, etc. I'm trying to complete 35 years of work into 35 minutes. This is where we use artificial intelligence in surgery. For example, we have put in a new software system with which we tackle our patients. The software system has got AI templates. So supposing somebody is, I'll give you a simple example. Supposing somebody is accusing X, Y, or Z of sexual harassment. He's going to the nurses and falling on them too much. By using our AI template, everything is connected to the cameras that we have everywhere. We can even know the average number of times the male doctors are going close to the nurses and coming back. And if somebody has gone that 10 times as many, if he's appearing stuck to the female nurses, like with glue, then maybe there's some data on that prevention of sexual harassment. We take respect to women very seriously. In none of our institutions do we permit sexual harassment of any form whatsoever. Indeed, I was one of those who went around the country pushing for a death sentence for the chap, Sanjay Chowdhury, who killed the doctor in the RG Car Medical College. I still believe that one day when I go to Parliament, I will shout and fight. I've argued with Arjun Ram Meghwalji, Mini Union Minister of Justice and Parliament. I've argued with P.P. Chowdhury ji, who's on many of these panels, saying, why don't we look at, death sentence for rapists? They will all say, yeah, they'll smile, but maybe a time should come for us to go and shout. So anyway, this robot, can you see that? They are my friends. They're a bunch of small robots who help us. So the idea of a big robot coming from the top and operating, or a robot that looks like Rajnikant saying robo, those days are gone. Now we have these small robots that help us in surgery, and these robots are endowed with artificial intelligence. They help us in pre-operative planning, intraoperative assistance, post-operative monitoring. AI is basically looking at patterns. If I see an oxygen pattern that earlier resulted in the death of a patient somewhere in Pennsylvania or somewhere in Moscow, the AI will say, watch out for this oxygen pattern, there may be a problem. And we will jump onto that patient and maybe put a tube in and ventilate them. It's simply, AI would look at this and say, okay, every 4th person is in blue, every 3rd person is in brown, every 6th person is wearing glasses. We can't see those patterns, but artificial intelligence algorithms, they see those patterns. So we like to bring technology in to help the common man. So that's our robotic surgery in motion. In robotic surgery, I'll see if the video, if you're lucky and the video plays. Yeah. So that's the robotic arms of the instrument. So here, I'm not sitting next to the patient. I'm sitting far away. And I could be sitting in here and operating in Nigeria. And the instruments will do exactly what I'm doing on the console. So theoretically, one of the people whom I worked with, called Jacques Marasco, he was operating from France, and he operated upon a patient in New York. So the days are not far when we can sit in one place and operate on one patient in Delhi, one patient in Moscow, etc. And you can see here, this is completely being done by the robot. But this is called a master-slave setup. What I do on the console on a gaming machine will be done by the robot. This was originally designed by the defense personnel. It was designed by a company in America, defense company in America, called DARPA. So defense associated research personnel, because they wanted in the wartime, you can send a robot inside and somebody is bleeding. I'm sitting on a console here. The robot will operate on that patient. Even if the robot takes a bullet, you can send in another robot. We won't be wasting personnel. So this is a classic example of a very complex operation. Indeed, this video is important because using this robotic series, this operation was the first of its kind in the world. I won't bore you with more than that. Before one of you gets up and vomits on me, I'll go on to, I'll see if I can show you one more. This is a hernia operation performed again using the robot. So even simple operations like a gallbladder, hernia, etc., the degree of precision that we get, is so much. We're watching 3D, we're watching a magnified, something that's magnified 18 times. You can watch every speck. You can see absolutely bloodless tissue. If you cut it, it will bleed. Here we are burning and then cutting, burning and cutting, and so it doesn't bleed. I just want you to be a fly on the wall. This is how we do the operations. But for me, for a coffee addict like me, great advantage of robotic surgery, you can drink coffee while you're operating. You don't wear gloves also because you're only working on the levers. The robotic arms are gloved. We are not gloved. And you can see we're putting a mesh in there for hernia. So these are some areas of excellence. I want all of you to just look at this one slide. As we cross the age of 50, which is probably nearly all of us, these things may happen to us. A heart attack, very, very, very common. You all know that coronavirus, killed 4.5 million people all over the world in 2.5 years. 2.5 years, 4.5 million people. But diabetes, cholesterol and blood pressure and motapa, obesity, kill 39.5 million people every year. During the time COVID killed 4.5 million, these diseases like heart attack and stroke killed 80 million people. So these are our true silent enemies. These are our, khamosh dushman sitting inside us and killing us. And we are waiting for some COVID attack to come, some plague attack to come, some cancer to come. Your silent BP, your silent sugar, your silent cholesterol, these are the ones that will kill us. So a sudden acute abdominal pain, we have one of the largest casualties or emergencies in this area. We have a separate theater, triage system, large emergency. Acute abdomen. Acute abdomen doesn't mean a cute abdomen. I'm sure many of you here have cute abdomens, but acute abdomen means painful abdomen, which might require surgery, might kill the patient. An acute stroke or a heart attack. GI bleeding, it could be from the mouth or it could be from the anus. Fractures. I want to tell all of you, please watch out for your bone. I would love to do like a major camp for all of you. The commonest cause that precipitates death in the above 70s is a fracture. Fracture of the hip. Commonest cause of a fracture of the hip. Fall. Commonest reason why a fall causes a fracture. Osteopenia or osteoporosis. Your bones aren't as strong as before. Commonest cause for that, when we sit at home and spend all our time, we were just chatting outside, watching serials in which they teach you 1,000 different ways for a daughter-in-law to kill her mother-in-law or the mother-in-law to poison her daughter-in-law. These, because you're inside, in front of the television, you don't get your vitamin D. You have to go out into the sun to get it. Vishnath is laughing. He must have learned a few things from the serials. Oh, I'm glad I'm not your mother-in-law. So, we need to therefore understand root cause analysis. In management, there's something called root cause analysis. Why is a project not completed? Construction. Why construction is not completed? Money. Why money? Not because you haven't reached the banks. Whatever. Like that. Why do people die? Fracture. Why fracture? Not enough calcium and vitamin D. So for a start, I want to dose the entire Sainik Puri, Vayu Puri, all of you, with calcium and vitamin D. Some of you might jump up and say, no, I want to check my vitamin D. Don't waste your time, yaar. Don't waste your money. It costs 1,000 rupees to check your vitamin D. For 1,000 rupees, you can have 2 years vitamin D treatment itself. And it will not rise up inside you. Calcium and vitamin D Every one of you must have. All the males above 50 must have a PSA, prostate specific antigen, because prostate cancer is on the rise. Everybody above 60 must have once in 2 years a colonoscopy. There's a bunch of things that I will write and give you all. I've actually got it here. This way, we can keep you guys. I will take an open challenge that Sainik Puri and Vayu Puri here, we can keep you in comparison as the healthiest ex-servicemen in India. You need to clap at least for yourselves, not for me. अरे open challenge मैं देता हूँ. Compare कर दीजिए. But it cannot happen overnight. Give me 6 months. We will get indices. These 1,000 people are checked. How many have controlled BP, uncontrolled BP, sugar, oxygen levels, bones, and we can compare it with the data available. The R&R people in Delhi are good friends of mine. AFMC friends I've got. We can check out and see. I mean, starting something, let's start it with a definite goal. You know, like Stephen Covey said in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, begin from the end and then work backwards. The end is keeping you guys. I don't want to desperately somehow operate upon somebody's head here. That's not my scene. My scene is to keep all of you healthy. Sure, if that means getting rid of somebody's fracture or getting rid of somebody's tumor, then we'll bloody well do it. But there's no reason for us to unnecessarily do it. Prevention is better than cure. So, for all emergencies, we are very, very happy to park one of our ambulances somewhere near maybe Vayu Puri 1, maybe Sainik Puri 1, so that within 5 to 8 minutes, we can get any of you who fall sick into our emergency room. It's called golden hour, within 60 minutes. You know, I tell people, you say Hanuman Chalisa in the ambulance on the way. Don't sit at home and say, I'll say 108 Hanuman Chalisas, and then if Hanuman doesn't appear before me, then I'll go to the ambulance. Hanuman will come and say, Arey yaar, main ambulance bhej diya. Why don't you take the ambulance and go? So Hanuman is the one who's sending you the ambulance. So when you get into the ambulance, you say Hanuman Chalisa. Don't say Hanuman Chalisa instead of ambulance. Surgical and medical, state-of-the-art ICU, advanced cardiac ICU. See that PTCA, there's something called door to balloon. Let's face the facts. In this room, 35% of any room will have a heart attack, above 50. So at least 1/3 of us are at some point of time going to have a heart attack or some heart event. You leave your door. How quickly is that balloon put inside and your coronary opened? That is called door to balloon time. You can't say, hey, FMC mein bahut acha hospital hai, main yahan se I'll go to airport, I'll take a flight, I'll go to Pune. Different things will happen. The quicker the balloon enters your arteries, and this is vital information, much more vital than the right poison to slip into your mother-in-law's soup. The quicker the balloon enters your coronary arteries, the more of heart muscle is saved, and the quicker you can get back to your golf, your walking, or your cricket. You do that after 6 hours, you'll still be alive. But in that 6 hours, some of your heart muscle dies, and your ejection fraction comes down from the normal of 65-70% to 30%. You climb upstairs, you're breathing deeply, breathless. You lie down and sleep, you're getting up breathless. You can't play. Your activities of daily life will be curtailed. In my mind, I was terribly impressed by Chandrasekhar sir, who at 82 is doing 8 to 10 kilometers a day. I also want to put it on the record. If every person in Vayu Puri and Sainik Puri can do that 8 to 10 kilometers a day and 1 hour of yoga, then I'll probably shut shop and open Lifeline in Agra or Pune or somewhere else, or the way it's going somewhere near Pahalgam. So, but everybody doesn't do it. We need to get that sense of going out there, working out to everybody. Also, as we grow older, the other thing, and please don't think I'm scaring you guys. You can get all this on the net. What happens after 60? Apart from heart and brain, the other thing that gets affected is cancer. Because of all the rubbish that we eat, it goes into the gullet. So you get gullet cancer. Goes into the stomach cancer. Passes out through your large intestine. So large intestine cancer. You breathe it out or you breathe it in. If you're one of these pipe-smoking military men, lung cancer is common. Blood. And for women, please remember, Hyderabad is the cancer capital of breast cancer in Telangana. To a lesser extent, ovary and uterus. We do not, I would not like to say lies, we do not as yet have a radiation unit although there is a radiation unit in Secunderabad, but otherwise we have all the diagnostics, whether it's mammogram or CT or MRI, cath, endoscopies. We've got everything. We've got everything for surgery. We've got everything. We're getting everything for robotics, keyhole surgery, chemotherapy, psychological counseling. The only thing is we don't have is that radiation, and we have a tie-up for that. Our DNA is to tell you exactly what we are and not paint a picture, we've got radiation, we've got this. But we've got the tie-up. Finally, we have, for women and men, we have focused, comprehensive health checkups. So check your uterus, your breast, blood checkup. We have even genetic and tumor markers, so we'll be able to check your blood and give you the chance of getting diabetes, risk of getting diabetes in the next 5 years, risk of getting, say, colorectal cancer in the next 10 years. And if those risks are inordinately high, then you will come under annual screening, colonoscopy, and we can pick it up. So bone density is another thing that everybody here above 50, please come and do your bone densitometry. We will know how thick your bone is, what is your risk of falling, take calcium, vitamin D. Of course, for heart, ECG, echo, treadmill, the sono mammogram for early breast cancer, and a state-of-the-art automated lab. My last point is to tell you that we also believe, I don't want you guys to, people used to think, these doctors are different from, robbers. Robbers will just take your money and go. But doctors take your money and they take your life also. We're not like that. We're not one of these corporate hospitals. We're a hospital that believes in social justice. We do a lot of free care for the needy. Even tomorrow, we're heading back tonight because tomorrow we have a series of free breast cancer camps in the slums of Mylapore. We also have a foundation which Kala and I founded way back in 1997 called the Rajaratnam Medical Educational Foundation, through which we do all these. And we've done these in Somaliland, Hargeisa. I've played around with AK-47s, with the rebel camps in Sri Lanka, in Bengal, wherever there's a real need. And as I told you, we've offered Delhi, and we might even be taking off for 2 weeks or 3 weeks to Ukraine. All of you, please pass a silent prayer that there's no Ukrainian or Russian bullet with my name on it. But we believe in social justice, and we are very happy to help any person who's needy. We'll find the finance for it somehow and help them. We really believe in in the last line, namely healthcare for everyone. We believe in being good human beings. We believe in being good men. We believe in being good Indians. And we want to share the love around and to pass the love around. And we want all of you to join us and stay committed with us. We would love to do many things with the ladies group, with the gents group together. We can, as far as hospital transport, ready contact points, we could do video consultations once a week if you are feeling lazy to walk up that 5 or 10 minutes. All follow-up care. I know many of you have children abroad. Through the app, your children will be able to know exactly what's happening to you. We're happy even to include that feedback to your family or to your loved ones. So this is what the Lifeline banner really stands for. Not just for there are a lot of shiny walls, shiny floors, central air cons, posh people walking around. But we are more than that. I would like to think that we would like to mean, whether I take away your ears or whether I take away your brains, I'm very keen that wherever I speak, we need to take away people's hearts with us, and we need to go back in your hearts. Thank you all for such a patient listening. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Bharat Mata Ki Jai. I'm happy to take any questions about the mega series. He'll answer, rest I'll answer. Sir. No, bataiye, sir. Please, you can call me. You can even call me Hey You. My wife's been calling me that for the last 40 years. Hey You, come here. Right.
We conduct the blood donation camps basically to look after the thalassemia children, because every 20 days they have to be, blood has got to be infused into them. So for them, what I gather is that, of late that I have understood is that we can get away with that provided we can do the stem cell surgery I don't know, can you elaborate on that particular thing? I just heard stem cell, but then...
That is a very, very, very intelligent question. Ladies and gentlemen, the future of medicine is stem cell surgery. We started doing that in 2006. But by 2008-9, in India, somebody asked Moraji Desai, is India a forward country or backward country? He said it's an awkward country. That is very true. One side you have major advances. Other side you have a bunch of bureaucrats sitting down and saying, no, we have to check this, you can't do this. We have an apex committee, you have to apply, taking years and years, and many of us shut down our stem cell units. But for me, it was very fascinating, the research into stem cells. We had a lot of original papers. Along with IIT Madras, we created a heart cell. It is still there, you can still the heart, that's still pulsating. We took a bone marrow cell and we created a heart cell. In the future, you can walk into like a spare part thing and say, take my genes, one little scraping of your inner cheek, you can get your genes. From the genes, what do you want? One kidney. It's like saying one Chinese chili chicken, one chicken tikka. You can say, I want one kidney, and maybe a little hair too, thanks. So they will get you your own genes. You can manufacture a kidney. I kid thee not. This is not very far away. Indeed, one more thing in anti-aging is to take out your own stem cells and give it back to you. A lot of people in America, the so-called tech billionaires in the West Coast, the Peter Thiel, the Jack Welch, that group of guys in the West Coast, tech billionaires, they all keep having their own stem cells injected. So we will slowly, we want to do everything cautiously, Somebody will say, oh, they're experimenting, doing something wild. But yes, the future is stem cells. But we've not yet reached the stage for regular stem cell treatment for thalassemia. But I would like to thank you for that question about Rotary, because my wife and I are both Rotarians too. We're also Paul Harris Fellows. We are major donors. And we also conduct a lot of camps for Rotary. We'll be very, very happy to do the same here as well. I'm a personal blood donor. I've given myself 74 times. For Modi's 75th birthday, I hope to give my 75th bottle of blood. We'll be happy if you all can organize blood donation camps. But above 65, you can't give blood. So you can organize it and get younger people. Must understand that by giving blood, nothing bad happens to you. Excellent question, sir. Thank you very much. Sir.
Is Lifeline Hospital ECH impaneled?
Yeah. So I'll tell you, when Oscar Wilde, he met a friend who was married, then divorced, he was marrying again. So Oscar Wilde said, when a divorced man marries again, to the world, it represents the triumph of hope over experience. Similarly, that is my exact feeling, because already one of our hospitals will be shut down only because of ECHS. So experience is ulta, but hope is upper. So hopefully we will be having the ECHS. My request to a lot of you, the ECHS doesn't affect Jubilee Hills Apollo. They're very clear. ECHS, are turned around, bago. CGHS, are turned around, mudo, bago. But it only affects patriots. Because we patriots are, yaar, ye jawan hai, yaar, havaldar hai, dalo, andar dalo, karenge hum operation. And each operation will be down by 1 lakh, down by 50,000. So the patriots, the Deshbhakts, excuse my language, but it's the Deshbhakts who get screwed over by the ECHS. My humble supplication to all of you is, along with the ECHS, if you can do what's called pari pasu insurance or tie-up insurance, you can do with one of the other insurances like Galaxy, Magna, Star, so that they come along with you, and the ECHS says this is not recognized. ECHS says you're a colonel, you can have 2 puris, third puri you have to pay, or your wife's puri we can't pay, whatever. I'm just giving you an example. If you have a tie-up insurance with somebody like Magna, the amount of comfort that you have, the amount of freedom that you have will be wonderful. And I may not have to shut down this institution also.
A little more about this metabolic surgery, because I think a lot of us may be interested, because many of us are suffering from diabetes, hypertension, all the full range of things.
Brilliant. So each one of us has a metabolism. We have a program. I have a program inside. This fellow will live for whatever, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years. He will develop sugar at the age of 30. or you develop BP at the age of, you have a programming. According to that program, all the world's a stage, as Shakespeare said, and all the men and women merely players. This whole stage is enacted. What we do in metabolic surgery is we abort the gene to body, and we change the body structure in which your body does not respond to the signals of your genes, and you will continue without sugar or BP or cholesterol or triglyceride. In 95% of patients, they remain slim, without sugar, without BP and without cholesterol for the rest of their lives. The rest of their lives. In 5%, after 5 or 10 years, especially the ones who like to hit the bottle, which I find a lot in Telangana, or the ones who like sweets a lot, which I find a lot in Telangana, or who like to party too much, which I find a lot in Telangana, that 5%, they may get a recurrence. They may get back some weight. 95% remain without these diseases, and I believe that we can bring down the death rate of a society significantly by just these 3 or 4 things. Keeping them slim, and when you say slim, the central fat. You'll find some thin people, bald, thin, with a little hair in the ears. These are all markers of heart disease. Walking around in the morning, but only the belly, Madhya Pradesh will be out. They are the danger ones for a heart attack. If we can get rid of the belly fat, if you can get rid of your sugar, BP, cholesterol, bang, 100 to 120 years, you'll keep going without any problem. I kid thee not. I'm telling you all this based on data, based on facts. I'll show it in you guys. So we have to choose, sir. For one person, I may bypass less. If you had, I'd bypass less because you don't have a big paunch. Somebody with a big paunch, I would bypass more so that he drops his belly. Sir.
Doctor, under the anti-aging treatment, what you said, what would be the basic processes to start with?
Basic process.
Yes, basic processes or stepwise treatment processes.
Brilliant.
How would you go about it?
You know, we should do one proper session because this is really exciting. His question is, how do you go about anti-aging? In my mind, if you study rishis, Tirumular, Tiruvalluvar, Agathiyar, Vyakramar, all these people, there's so many processes of how you breathe, how you exercise, what you eat. All these will determine a very, very, very long life. That plus chemically, when you were 25, your hormones were at a particular level. Now they're gone down. And if you ask, you say, oh, I'm old, so my hormones are down. You are old because your hormones are down. If you replace the hormones and get them to what you were at 25, to make your muscle what it was at 25, of course you must do it with your wife, otherwise madam will fight with me, because along with this often the second, third, fourth, all this will start happening. So yeah, there's no reason why we can't live very young. You know, if you read the Constitution of India, which I believe very deeply in spare time you'll find me reading Constitution of India, very fundamental right, Article 15 that B.R. Ambedkar said, right to life. Then of course right to equality, right to education, right to speech. Every man has a right to life. Why can't a man live till 90, 100? Some people say, oh, God has given me only 60, I'll be happy. I said, jao fir, go, be happy at 60. Somebody else wants 90, I'll give him 90. And I believe that if you want to live well, live young, I always say, you must add life to years, not years to life. Not just keeping somebody like this, you know, you should keep them running. It could be Imhotep. We don't want people to be like the mummies. We want them to be running around active. Change the diet. I'll give you 2, 3 very, very tiny, quick things that you can do sitting in your chairs. There's one nerve here called a vagus nerve. By stimulating the vagus nerve, your heart, your lungs, and your digestion go into default rest mode. They go into what's called theta or delta meditation mode. You have to stimulate that nerve. Simple way of stimulating that nerve, I tell you. All this is there in the old Sanskrit scriptures and the Tamil scriptures. You fix your eye at a point that's very, very, very far away. Maybe at one point on that wall. Can all of you stare? You choose any one point, okay? You sit straight, fix it far away, hold it for 30 to 60 seconds, far away. Then bring it to as close as you can, within 6 inches or 9 inches. Look at this tip. Then you look again very, very far. Look very, very close. This is there in the manual of anti-aging medicine. with 40,000 physicians, and they have these huge conferences where you have to pay $5,000 to attend one weekend's training. But it's there in Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. It is there in Vyakrama's writing. It is there in Tirumular. But if you talk Tirumular, they'll say he's a mad fellow, he's talking about sages. So you say anti-aging medicine, American Association of Anti-Aging Medicine, everybody will hang their tongues out. So these are simple ways. When you do that and do this, you stimulate the oculomotor nerve nucleus in the base of the brain, and next to that is a nucleus for the vagus that stimulates the vagus nerve, puts you into parasympathetic mode. If you do this 3 or 4 times a day, you start your anti-aging process. I'm giving you one example. So we need to check everything. For example, I begin by, what will kill my patient? Is he hiding a cancer somewhere? Chuck, check that. No, tick box. Is he having any block in his brain or heart? Chuck, check that. These two, we do itself, half the battle is won. Third, make sure that the kidneys, lungs, all are working. Series of blood tests. 3-4 days, we'll know all this is over. Then you start them on anti-aging. For example, old people believe that if you just walk, it's enough. You must all do some weights. At least fill up 1 liter Bisleri with water and do that. Very important to do weights, not just. Very important to do extension exercises. You know, Bhujangasana, where you come up like a cobra. Anything that you extend will extend your life. Anything that you shorten will shorten your life. You don't find old people walking like this. You'll find old people like this. So stand tall, put your shoulders back, extend, do Bhujangasana a few times, do the extension mode of yoga, and you will live long. I mean, these are just small things to do. Diet. Anything brown you take shortens your life. Cookies, cake. The scientific reason is anything that's brown is heated. The carbohydrate gets methylated. Anything that gets methylated gets deposited in your blood vessels, and your brain or your heart blood vessels get deposited upon, you will not live long. So you are as old as your blood vessels. All of you carry home that one point. If the blood vessels to the hair are good, you'll have good hair. If the blood vessels to your brain is good, then you're sharp as ever. If your blood vessels to your heart are good, then you don't get a heart attack. Blood vessels to your kidneys are good, you don't get hypertension. Blood vessels to your genitals are good, you don't get erectile dysfunction. Your blood vessels to your legs are good, you can walk. It's just you are as old as your blood vessels. So entire anti-aging is based on cleaning the pipes, keeping your blood vessels open. Milk causes aging, by the way. Ma'am. No, please.
And up to what age is it safe?
Do I do what, ma'am?
Do you do venous ablation, and up to what age is it safe?
Ma'am, very good question. For some people, this vagus is overactive and you have to ablate it. Ma'am, I believe we don't have to be aggressive, cutting, nothing. Anti-aging is just tests, maybe the odd injection, tablets, that's all. Very rarely, if in the course of anti-aging, we find out somebody's got a colonic cancer, then you have to remove it. But vagus ablation, you don't have to do it in 99.99% of cases, madam.
No, I'm talking about varicose veins.
Oh, venous.
Ablation.
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Colonel Rao, for example, has got quite a big varicose vein. See, earlier, we used to cut and strip all the varicose veins. One long thing will be there. You'll come out like Dushashana holding saris. Now we don't need to do all that. We just pass a little laser fiber all the way and burn it. And the vein gets cooked. And then we pull the fiber out and burn some more. Pull it some more, burn some more. And by the time we're out, the whole vein is burnt out. Surgeon will go home on the same day. Patient will go home on the same day. So, you know, it's very, very... all our surgeries, madam, and all our treatments are as minimally invasive as possible. If I can... And all this we can do through a needle hole. Through a needle hole, we pass that fiber. If I can operate upon you through a needle hole, why do I want to slash you on your belly or your leg for 6 inches or 12 inches? So we're trying to bring all the technology in to allow you guys to get the best that there is across the world. I hear the silence of complete knowledge or complete ignorance or simple boredom. Thank you all very much. I must really compliment you guys on such interactive questions. I'll be very happy to come back. I'm only a few hundred meters away. Thank you again, and I must thank every single person here in the front row who has organized this and made this happen. Thank you and good luck and Jai Hind.
Whew. It's been a hour and a quarter of so much of knowledge from such an experienced person. We are very blessed. Thank you, Doctor. I'm sure most of us have gained, at least got an insight, basic insight, and I'm sure we could gain more. Because I was just watching the video I was showing, and I keep watching Dr. House every morning and evening. And the words you were using, some of the words were hitting me, the diagnostics that he does, differential diagnostics as it calls it. I'm sure you must be doing it too. So it's a great opportunity we have all had. I'm sure each of us is going back far more knowledgeable. And as we know, Tulsi Hospital was the hospital which supported Vayupuri and Sainikpuri residents during COVID by giving shots to us, earmarking time slots so that we didn't have to go and stand in some primary health center and get our COVID shots. We are very grateful to the Tulsi Hospital management. I got an opportunity on a fora to say this now. And knowing that Lifeline has teamed up with Tulsi, I'm sure we'll all gain from it. And since he says he's going to take ECHS back on him, of course, we will make sure we are not a very heavy burden. We will do our best to push ECHS to make sure bills are got through. I've just gone through very major surgery, and I know what it means to be lying 7 hours on an operating table. But I'm sure Lifeline has much better systems. I didn't know this. We wish Lifeline all the best. And of course, we look forward to Dr. JSR coming here more often, meeting all of us, and letting us know more of what is happening. He was going to talk to us about gut-brain link and so many other issues, but I think he must have run out of time. Grateful to you, sir. And from all of Vayupuri and Sainikpuri, our grateful thanks. There are some snacks laid out, courtesy Tulsi Hospitals or Muthu Krishnan, courtesy. Please partake of the snacks, and then we can go home. Thank you.